Pro Wrestling Noah Destination 2021 back to Budokan. This show actually took place, I believe it was a few days ago. I think it was early this weekend, or maybe even almost a week ago at this point. Okay, so SOS Wrestling Noah, we're back here. We're back on the attack. We got some Pro Wrestling Noah news right here. So if you've been kept keeping your eye on the channel, we've been uploading quite a few videos here lately. So check out those bad boys out, man. But in the meantime, between time, me and my good brother LK. LK, how you doing today, sir?
I'm living the dream. I'm not as snowy as you. But how is it out there in the old statey states with the snow?
Oh man, well, down in Jana's part, shout out to Jana. She was without power for at least like 2 days, and yeah, it was a pretty rough go of it for her because they got like a lot of the ice storms and all that good stuff. We just got a lot of snow. We didn't get really much ice. We got a lot of snow, which we're fortunate for that. But my God, was it a lot of snow? Because yeah, do we have to go ahead and shovel out a parking, shovel out a funneling way to drive out if you want to drive out? Seen many people get stuck, man. It was pretty much very hazardous and very chaotic, but it's the winter time. That shit will happen,
That's tragic. We had a bit of snow and it was we had a bit of snow and it was literally like it was so small it didn't even set on the fucking ground. It generally didn't sit on the ground because it was just so small, it was pointless. But yeah, glad everyone's all right. And damn, that's
nice
some crazy
coating
shit.
You had. Okay, yeah, I had a nice little coating of snow.
It wasn't even a coating; it was a dripping. More like it was like, do you know when you finish having a piss and there's a little bit of drizzle that you just like flick off? That's literally what the snow here in the south of the UK is.
It's like, here it is right here. Here it is right here, man. But no, normally I almost messed up when we opened the show because I'm normally used to saying New Japan, but we got Pro Wrestling Noah here right there. And like I said, we have the Departure 2021 show. They're back to the Budokan Hall right here. And Noah actually on the show, LK, they unveiled their brand new logo, which actually stood proudly on the mat at Budokan right here. We also had the ring apron. It was like kind of adorned in like a blue, and the venue kind of had like a green ambiance about it, and it gave, in my opinion, like a summertime feel and a very wintry day. So I thought aesthetically, it looked pretty good. And I almost kind of felt like old times, but with like a new kind of twist on it, in my opinion, with Pro Wrestling Noah. So before we move on to too much more with the show, thoughts on the new logo? What do you feel about it?
I liked the new logo. I know lots of people are kind of up and down about it, but it's very similar to the DDT new logo, which obviously Cyber Agent owns both DDT and Noah. No, not the same promotion, just they own both companies, same as Bushiroad owns New Japan Pro Wrestling as well as Stardom. But it's I like the logo. It's fresh, it's new, it's much better than their old one. When I mean old one, I don't mean their green old school. Like I mean the latest one they had. I much prefer this one. So that's good. And this was a great show where if this is your first show watching Noah, I think it's a great place to start. Obviously we've done bits here and there. We've covered most of the big shows on the old channel which got deleted. But I think, here on the channel, I think we can hopefully make it at the hub where we can get, the point where the Noah big shows happen, shows are uploaded, the All Japan big shows happen, shows uploaded, DDT big shows happen, shows uploaded, and obviously all the New Japan content. Hopefully it could become a hub of kind of the best pro wrestler in the world. And I'm going to give you something that's going to break your heart, Dion. I'm going to do the Elimination Chamber preview and Elimination Chamber review this weekend. So if anyone here is watching and they despise WWE to the point they don't follow channels that do, if you don't like, please don't watch, but don't unsubscribe. We'll still be keeping with the Ultimate Pro Wrestler coverage. Just so WWE content's going to be covered your way, everyone. So please don't hate it.
Bruh, LK, I almost forgot until you actually double reminded me because I saw an advertisement. I think was it on YouTube. I forgot Elimination Chamber was even this weekend. Hell, your boy don't even know the card for Elimination Chamber, but I mean, I'm probably still gonna watch it, like just cause, like
you watch it out of habit. But we're here to talk about let's not talk about E, or we'll piss the hardcore fans off.
Absolutely, let's not do that. So let's go ahead and get into the show. So the first match we had on the show, we had Akoshi Saito versus Kinya Okada right here, and Akoshi Saito actually got the victory. I don't want to mispronounce it. I'm going to probably butcher the name of this move. The Sukuridesu.
It was an enziguri, man. It was an enziguri. Let's not fucking. Let's not go too far. It was an enziguri.
Enzuigiri. He got him with the Enzuigiri in about 5 minutes and 10 seconds. And this, in my opinion, this was more of an older style Pro Wrestling Noah opener, which is honestly pretty suitable for them being in Budokan Hall right here. We got Saito using a series of choke slams. Okada, however, in my opinion, he clambered up each time and he was able to fight back until he could fight no more. So I thought this was a solid opener. Didn't go too long, and I think this was a nice touch to have open the Budokan Hall show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great experience for Saito to be back in there, and it's a great experience for Okada to be out there with, Saito's, in his 50s, still looking great, still going. And that's the thing with these Noah boys. Some of the old ones, out of respect for me saying old, they can fucking go, man. This year we've seen, obviously, what we'll get to in the main event, and then you got like Sugiuru's, aging. You got Mochizuki, who's like the busiest man in Perezzo ever, doing everything here, there, and everywhere. These old veterans, they're so fucking good still, and Kojima, Nagata, saw he did a review of the Castle Attack for the past few nights, which I apologise to everyone for missing, just work schedules being a bitch, but it's back to normal, thank fuck. And, just these veterans recently just absolutely killing it in the Japanese pro wrestling world, which is funny because everyone bashes E for having the old timers, and the old timers kill it here over in Seas in Japan.
Dude, it's crazy that you said that, because I said the same thing about Yuji Nagata on the last Road to Castle Attack show. It's like these older guys here, especially over in Japan, they get it. And especially with Pro Wrestling Noah, as I was watching the show, LK, I could be wrong here, but this as far as the big promotions go over here in Japan. The big three. We got Pro Wrestling Noah, All Japan, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. For lack of a better term, depending on what your taste is, you can almost argue that Pro Wrestling Noah is the more no nonsense pro wrestling company that they have. Like All Japan is kind of like that as well, but they do have Black Men's-Ori. He's a kind of comedy guy, but I think the most no nonsense pro wrestling company over here in Japan might be Pro Wrestling Noah. This as far as the big guys go.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But then all Japan also, you think about Suwama.
Yeah.
You got Miyahara, Shuji. There's some big stuff. And All Japan had a show today, which featured a tag title match, which is quite a short one, which we potentially could cover. But there's a big show coming up with Suwama defending the Triple Crown, which could be fun. And they announced the Champions Carnival as well, so that's coming back this year.
Shit, he's coming up almost a year of reign, I think, almost.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Crazy.
Yeah, really is, though, right here. So, as we digress, we got match number 2 coming up. We got Atsushi, Koji, Yasutaka Yano, Daiki, and Inaba versus Hajime Ohara, Yohei, and Kai Fujimura right here. So we got very energetic young boys. We got Yohei. He's going to be naturally overexcited as he is. And honestly, okay, in my opinion, we got the rookies right here putting on a really solid technical match. While their seniors looked on and, pretty much were taking in what these young guys are doing right here, I think this is another pretty well-booked Budokan match right here. Have the veterans match up first, then have the rookies go in there second. It was a really energetic match. And then it ended when Katoji headbutted Fujimura. Then he followed it up with a moonsault for the win. It was about 7 minutes and 52 seconds, a little under 8 minutes. I thought this was a solid match with two really evenly matched teams right here.
Yeah, and it was cool to see how much Budokan meant to lots of rest. That's one thing I loved about this show, is when they came out, it really felt like being in Budokan after not being there for what would have been 2010, 11, 12, 13, the last time they were there. And they've been talking about, our road to Budokan, we're going to get back there, and how, we've heard that so much, and no, I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't think it was going to be possible for at least another few years, so good for them. And they did a good number in attendance. I think it was 4,000 or something, which, if you consider New Japan in December, same restrictions, only did 2,000 or something for the best of the Super Juniors in the World Tag League, albeit it is the best of the Super Juniors in the World Tag League, but still a good number for Noah that I think they should be proud of, and hopefully gives them more confidence to run big venues like this going forward, because I think Noah could be a company, I love this show. It was long, don't get me wrong, it was long, because obviously it's Budokan, that's fair enough, but man, it was a real good motivation to kind of watch Noah, and this was another good example. You talked about, at the top of the show, we talked about the kind of old-timers, the veterans. Here you just got some young, really talented guys going out there. Like you said, a couple of dojos, and Fujiwara and Yano both being dojos, but you could tell everyone was so pumped and so motivated. I thought it was a solid, and Kotoge was great. Wouldn't mind seeing him in the junior heavyweight title picture.
I think we might be. I don't think this is the last time we saw him on the night. I think he actually made an appearance later on in the night. Actually,
no way. I've literally got notes. I must have because I was in a bit of time constraints. So after the Harada and Yoshioka match, which was a banger, I kind of like skipped forward a little bit into the start of the Akiyama Marufuji tag match. So I must have just missed that one.
Yeah, he makes an appearance later here in the show, and it's after the title match. So. You might be onto something there.
God damn it. They already know. It made it, oh, fuck's sake. I missed a bit of the show. Now it sounds like I don't watch it. I'm going to send everyone my notes. I'm going to
you don't watch this shit, LK, you fucking hips.
Yeah, I don't watch it. I don't watch it. I waste my time like a sad little piece of shit taking notes for these damn shows, which I don't read half the stuff I say, but I sometimes when I watch this show, I think of like a joke in like a dull part of a match in like the middle stint, the heat bit, and I write it down, and I've got a funny joke lined up for the Go Shiozaki match. I'm looking forward to bursting the joke because I think it made me laugh when I was watching.
No, yeah, dude, it was I don't know, man. These freaking because this is probably like one of the first Noah shows I've seen in a while. I think the last Noah show that I maybe was able to watch was maybe the title, not unification, but the title for title between Keno and fucking Shiozaki. So that was like the last Noah that I was able to get my eyes on and actually review.
Shit, man. So, the last one I watched was the one where it was last year. It was the start of lockdown, so it had been March, April time. And it was the 60-minute match where they barely touched for the first 10 minutes.
Yep.
That was the last Noah match show I watched, and I feel bad for not keeping up to date with Noah. I do. I feel extreme guilt.
Me too, and I mean, not even because, not even saying where we would be doing our listeners a disservice, but honestly, I think we need to, because shit, dude, I don't know how many people on this platform of YouTube do cover pro wrestling. I saw maybe 2 things talking about it, but no, this can be touched because Pro Wrestling Noah, I mean, they got some of my favorite wrestlers. They got actually one of my favorite wrestlers is going to be coming up here in a couple matches. So no, I'm always down to talk about these guys, especially when I get my eyes on it, man. And it's different from watching New Japan, because it's like we cover New Japan, and that's probably one of the wrestling organizations that I probably watch the most. So it's also refreshing to get your eyes on different guys that but you just maybe haven't seen in a while,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like I touched on earlier, I think we should, going forward, cover all the big shows from Noah and the big shows from All Japan, kind of the big shows from all the other mainstream companies, because obviously it's not going to be possible. This isn't our job, so we're not getting paid a single penny for this. So I don't think it's kind of normal to expect us to cover every Road 2 show from All Japan, Noah, DDT, Dragon Gate, and New Japan. But I think we should do a better, not a better job, because we've only kind of just restarted and rekindled the fire, should we say. But I think we need to do an idea where we cover all the big shows for these promotions.
Oh, I 100% agree, and I am on board for that. So it's to be on board, we might as well break down the rest of the show, because at this point, LK, we are on match number 3. We got Muhammad Yone, known for his famous afro as he was back in the day. First time I seen this guy was actually on Fire Pro Wrestling Returns. Little trivia right there. It was a little video game, if you guys aren't aware. Was on PlayStation 2. They had a lot of unlicensed wrestlers. Great game. Neither here nor there. He teams up with Shuei Taniguchi, aka the former Maybach Taniguchi right here, taking on a team of the M's Alliance. And the M's Alliance consists of Masaaki, Mochizuki, and one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I know him from his ECW fame. Some of you guys might know him from elsewhere, but we got the Bullet himself, Masato Tanaka, right here. So we got Masato Tanaka actually putting Muhammad Yone away with a sliding D in about 6 minutes and 58 seconds right here, which actually continued the streak of dominance that the M's Alliance had. They got their first win tonight in the Budokan Hall. Yuko Miyamoto got in the ring. He was over here in ringside, and he was celebrating with his stable right here. So this team of Muhammad Yone and Shuei Taniguchi, they kind of failed to deliver, and they did not get the W. They actually took a big fat L, little under 7 minutes. I thought this was fine. I'm a fan of Masato Tanaka. He's actually got himself in really great shape in the latter part of his career, so shout out to him.
I just want to prove here that I definitely, to prove everyone, I definitely watch this show. The team got the win with a double running sliding kick. So Tanaka and Mochizuki both hit a running kick at the same time. So there is proof, everyone, ladies and gentlemen around the world, that I definitely watched this show. I agree. I thought it was a solid short match. Tanaka, obviously, I was barely alive during his ECW run. But obviously I've gone back and watched lots of his stuff with Mike Awesome, and on the 25 years ago series we'll be eventually getting to that. But man, Tanaka, his KOD title reign was one of the big things that reintroduced me to the beauty of DDT. He had a really great title reign, so my expectations for Tanaka were high, and like you said, he's in absolutely phenomenal shape. You can't fault him, and he's doing lots of stuff with 0-1, if I'm right. I'd love to see him stick around in Noah. I think he suits their style to a T. But yeah, really solid stuff. Nothing spectacular. It was perfect length. This didn't need to go 15-20 minutes. It was perfect length. The boys got in, the boys got out. They got to experience the Budokan, and off they went with their lives.
Absolutely, man. And Masato Tanaka, like you said, former ECW World Heavyweight Champion, not the WWE ECW, but the actual ECW World Heavyweight Champion, formerly of that. Had a historic rivalry with Mike Awesome, like you said, the aforementioned Mike Awesome, the Gladiator, which I've gone on record to say Mike Awesome, as far as in-ring work, I don't know about character-wise, but as far as in-ring work, Mike Awesome's probably one of the best big men of all time that nobody ever talks about. But that's neither here nor there. I'm always glad to see Masato Tanaka, man. He actually did some early New Japan stuff before the New Japan World era actually began to take off. He was, teaming with Jado and Geto and those guys, Yujiro Takahashi as well. So it didn't go too long, but it didn't need to go too long as well. Okay, with the time frame that it had, they got their stuff in and they did what they needed to do. So I'm no argument about the time frame. I thought it was appropriate. So.
Roger that. On to the next beast.
Yeah, shit. Next match, man. We got Sugiura Army, or as I like to call him, Sugiura-gun, Takashi Sugiura, Kazushi Sakuraba, aka the Gracie Hunter. This historically MMA fame. If you're an MMA head like I am, then you should know the name Kazushi Sakuraba because he is a freaking legend. Another guy who is an MMA name, but maybe not so much less than Kazuyuki Fujita, and Kazunari Murakami, Kendo Kashin, and Nosawa Rangai, the crazy man himself, taking on the Kongo team of Katsuhiko Nakajima, my favorite pro wrestler in Pro Wrestling Noah, Masa Kiyomida, Manabu Soya, Hayo Neo, and Tadasuke right here. So we get the team of, I believe it was the Sugiura Army win with the Olympic Slam on Neo and just right hair under 11 minutes right here. So this was really wild. This was really aggressive by these two teams right here. I forgot that my man. I was gonna call him Kento Miyahara. It's fucked up. Not because he and Kento Miyahara has a rivalry and they actually hate each other. But my man Katsuhito Nakajima, I actually forgot he went to Kendo late last year. I forgot about that. So it kind of reminded me of that. I've always been a fan of Takashi Sugiura. He's always been one of my favorite wrestlers over here in Noah right here. So we get to Sugiura-gun being more of the heel stable in this match. So I thought it was solid, LK. What was your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I loved the Nakajima and Sugiura exchanges. I thought they did some really good shit. Also, I loved the Kitamiya, and the Sugiura's exchanges. I think those two would have a banger one-on-one. And as you touched upon about how you're such a big fan of Nakajima, I'm a huge fan of Masato Kitamiya. Absolutely, really like this guy. He kind of reminds me of, you remember back in the early 90s in WWF, you had the Orient Express tag team. The way he dresses, a kind of gimmick. He kind of reminds me of them in a lot of ways.
I can see.
That wasn't racist in any way. I'm not saying it's a Japanese man in the same type of gear.
It's similar gear, man.
Yeah, similar gear. You know what I mean? It's not just because of that. They had the traditional Japanese wrestler entrance song, which I fucking hate. I hate that. Every time a Japanese wrestler starts to E, you know what song. Like, I just picture every Japanese wrestler coming out to Tajiri's theme song. Like, even when they signed Orient Express, Tajiri, Ultimo Dragon, it's just dee. It's like, fuck me, man, that's so bad. But yeah,
dude, it's the same though. It's like I don't know. It's kind of like I don't. It's akin to every Japanese wrestler has to back then had to come out to that type of theme. And I was saying to somebody when Cassius Ohno, aka Chris Hero, was in the NXT or whatever, they had him with like some like rock theme. And if you're a fan of Cassius Ohno, Chris Hero, who was actually a Pro Wrestling Noah alumni, since he, we're talking about Pro Wrestling Noah. If you know him, you know he's more of a hip hop head, so it's kind of weird they had him come out with this. I'm like, I don't even think he likes rock music like that, but hey, maybe he might.
He did, to be fair, it's his new, well, not new. Obviously, he's now left WWE, and I think he has his own podcast of Conrad Thompson, like every other fucking human being does. I'm expecting SOS Wrestling Network to be part of the Conrad Thompson family with the way that he's going. He's a fucking hard worker, and I respect the shit out of him. He's got the dream job. He's got the gig. He's worked hard for it as well.
You know what else is another reason that I'm like, you know what? He's okay with me in my book. I don't know about his, doings or whatever. But Conrad Thompson is actually the sole owner of the classic Crumb Ryan Big Gold Heavyweight Championship, which we all know. I love that belt. So he's the owner of that, which Ric Flair, I think, gave to him. So, because he's actually married to one of Ric Flair's daughters. But hey, we just all circle back around to Pro Wrestling Noah right here. But it's just the weird dynamic. You know what I mean? This is just super weird. I do like, though, I'm intrigued if we would potentially get a singles match between Nakajima and Sugiura. I would love that, actually, because I know the Kongo stable is led by Kino, but I would love if Nakajima got that match with him.
I agree, and like I said, I haven't watched Noah since that big 60-minute match. So seeing Nakajima kind of quite far down the card was a bit upsetting, but in the end of the day, you got to remember that everything else after this is a title match. So I kind of, in Japan, that's taken as a big deal, which I like and I'm a big fan of. But yeah, this match is fun. Also, what I liked about is one team was in red and one team was in black, which made it really easy for new fans who are not familiar with the talent to follow, which I think is a big deal when Noah in this kind of rebuilding process. I thought that was really smart and good work.
Also, too, like, I know maybe some Pro Wrestling Noah heads will probably get mad at me for saying this, and okay, you can see how you feel about this. I think the Sugiura-gun is really, like, low-key a spinoff of when the Suzuki-gun was over in Noah. It's kind of like not a continuation, but it kind of low-key is, because he was in Suzuki-gun. People kind of low-key forget about that.
Yeah, let's just probably try not and say that out loud, because I think I could picture lots of Noah heads kind of writing some really mean things in the comments right now about you. Suzuki-gun killed Noah. Sugiura-gun are great. But no, I do get what you mean. I do get what you mean, and all jokes aside. Yeah, and I think they're definitely, I don't want to say better, because I didn't catch much of the Suzuki-gun. Yeah, better for Noah. Obviously, Sugiura's a former GHC heavyweight champion, so kind of a lot of kind of people will respect his faction rather than a guy coming from New Japan trying to take over.
Absolutely. And speaking of, we're on our first title match, LK, and I want to ask you this since we're talking about the titles now. They've changed the heavyweight belt. I'm wondering, are they going to change the junior heavyweight and the tag team belts, the junior heavyweight tag belts and heavyweight tag belts respectively, in the like of the heavyweight belt? Or are they going to keep their same designs? I'm not. What do you think they're going to do with that?
I reckon they'll change them. I reckon it'll just be gradually over time.
Yeah,
I like the new belt. I'm a fan of the new belt.
The new belt is sweet. I love actually both their new belts, the national and the heavyweight belt. But that's just me. I'm a belt head. But next match, we got the junior heavyweight tag team championships on the line. We got the Stinger team of Yoshinari Ogawa and Hayata taking on SOS Wrestling Network favorite right here, Kotaro Suzuki, and I love that guy, okay? And Okito Hikata right here. So just when I was pretty much getting into this match and like, okay, this match can damn near get into next gear, it pretty much, I don't know if it was just me because I just watch a lot of wrestling, but I felt like it was over pretty much as soon as it started. I really felt like that, okay? As soon as this match started, it's over. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I thought it was a good match. We got Yoshinori Ogawa getting the head scissors hold on Kotaro Suzuki in about 13 minutes here for the victory. I didn't think that was bad, but I thought before this match get into next gear, it didn't need to end when it ended. It was just a good junior heavyweight tag team title match, which is different because it's wrestled differently than I want to say a different junior heavyweight tag team title that's across the street or whatever. Because it's weird. You don't really get any outside shenanigans. You know, you didn't really get any like bullshit, for lack of a better term. And it was just pretty much a straight lace wrestling match. And maybe I felt it ended a little bit abruptly, but I don't think that took away from the match. I thought it could have been a really, really good match, but I just thought we had a good match here instead of a really, really, really good match.
Yeah, and they saved a lot of time for other matches, so it makes a lot of sense. And the funny thing is, on the notes I have, is everyone knows our love for Suzuki. I remember so many times covering Suzuki because he was back on the old channel when we were rocking and rolling, and we did all the All Japan and shows, and he did the Junior Battle of Glory back in, I think it would have been 2018, possibly 2019. And I was just, we'd both praise him, and then we saw him every time. We'd be like, oh, he's fucking this, Kotaro Suzuki. He could be, in my opinion, the most underrated junior heavyweight wrestler of all time, and there is no one who can dispute that fact. This guy is fucking incredible. To be able to wrestle the way he does, he doesn't wrestle like he's a junior heavyweight. He just wrestles like a traditional Japanese wrestler, which I fucking love, and why we're such big fans of the All Japan junior heavyweight division. Same goes to Noah here. But yeah, I really enjoyed the story. Did a bit of research before the match began, and that is basically the story heading in. Was Suzuki used to be in the Stinger faction. He got kicked out after miscommunication, which led to Suzuki needing a partner. He picked Hidaka, who's a former GHC Junior Tag Champ himself, and he's won loads of 0-1 gold back in the day. Beautiful stuff. This is good, solid. A guy with a pretty fucking sexy looking roll up on Suzuki got the win, and I loved the storytelling at the end of Suzuki just like, oh, I got caught, and he's like hitting the mat because obviously he just got like a roll up pin. It wasn't like he got fucked up, so obviously no selling, just like no, he looks absolutely guarded, and I felt so sorry for him. I was just like, oh, but it was definitely not feud ender in my opinion. I think we're gonna get this again, but I enjoyed it. If I have to go on the old Uncle Davey Boy Stars rating system, I gave it 2.5.
Yeah, that's fair. That's 100% fair. I think it just, like I said, it just kind of got stopped from getting into that next gear. It was just like there, but it just didn't get there. Like it was a decent match, but I think the next match in my opinion, I could be wrong. The tag team match we get later in the show is probably a little bit better, but the next match we got, I enjoyed this match a lot. We have for the GHC Junior Heavyweight Championship, we got Daisuke Harada versus Seiki Yoshioka right here. So this match right here, LK, it went about a little under 11 minutes. It got Seiki Yoshioka.
Criminal. Sorry to cut off there, but criminal. This should have been given 20. These guys went out there, and these boys went out there with 11 minutes, and it felt shorter than 11 minutes because I was so into it. Daisuke Harada, one of the best junior heavyweights in the world. Seen him even at IPW UK when he came over and he won that strap. Just so much, buzz around. There was so much buzz around. I don't know if there still is. I need to get back into the scene of what people are talking about in the presso world. But man, these two, kind of far, considering you just saw kind of a more slower, old school style approach of junior heavyweight wrestling to this, was just fucking magnificent. And the kickouts it won and pumping up, and that pile driver at the end was one of the scariest shit I've ever seen in my life. This was
fucking
great shit. This should have been 20. Give it fucking 25 minutes. This was skim fucking 5 minutes off of one of the other matches and give it to this. This was just great. And it was one of those where lots of times in wrestling you go, if only they got given a bit more time. This was the best example of sometimes in wrestling they get given too long. Sometimes they don't get given enough, and these boys needed 5 to 10 more minutes to take it from gear 3 up to gear 4 and fucking burn Budokan down. I gave it 3.25. Give this 5, 10, 15. You could be looking at 4, 4.5, potentially 5 for a bigger backstory. But this was great, and the backstory to this is Yoshioka is a former Wrestle 1 wrestler in their junior division. And he also joined Noah once the promotion closed. And they've only had one match, 1-on-1, and that ended in a draw. So this was a big-time match. First time properly meeting with a clean finish. But Yoshioka, the new GHC Junior Heavyweight Champion. And then go on to what happened after this, because I didn't see it.
Dude, fucking banger of a match, man. If you don't have any means to watch pro wrestling, Noah, I actually, before, me and LK hollered in our group chat. There's matches actually on YouTube right now, so you can search this match out and watch this match. And like we said, it's not even 15 minutes. This is a 10-minute or 11-minute car crash right here of excellence in pro wrestling. So definitely check this out. These guys would have had more time. Oh my gosh! But post match, like you were saying, Atsushi Kotoge actually got into the ring. He removed his mask and he challenged new champion for the belt. They got in each other's faces. So it looks like we're getting Kotoge getting ready to challenge for that belt, like you were saying earlier. So, yeah, he's getting ready to challenge the Yoshioka for this championship at some point. So, yeah, I'm for it.
Yeah, me too. I'm game for that, especially after seeing Kotoge before. I miss his cape. I used to enjoy his cape. But we move. I can't recommend this enough. This is the type of wrestling that I fucking love. That's what I wish the best of the Super Juniors was. If they do I'm assuming when they do the Pro Wrestling Noah's version of the Best of Super Juniors, a Junior Battle of Glory, whatever the fuck they call it, man, I'm all over that if matches like that take place, because that was just, give that more time and you're having something special.
100%, man. And shit, LK, we're on the match 7 right here. We got the Noah Generations match right here. We got Naomichi Marufuji, met that guy. Jun Akiyama, have not met him yet, versus Kaito Kiyomiya and Yoshiki Inamura right here. So you could just tell by the energy that Kaito Kiyomiya was giving off, he was just loving his first Budokan experience. He's just sitting there just eating all this stuff up. So it almost kind of begs you a question, is this too soon in his career? So he's still a young guy. Is this too soon for it to become memorable and actually to have a gravity weight, type situation, or is he kind of taking it for granted? Well, I guess we'll see down the line. But a guy like Naomichi Marufuji, he's walking down this ramp for the first time in 11 years in the Budokan Hall. So he's got his new chrome gear, and we have Jun Akiyama in here. So it's kind of almost like a homecoming, because Jun Akiyama in his own right, he's the current DDT, I believe, champion right now. And he's actually a former GHC heavyweight champion. So it's just kind of almost a homecoming for him. So Jun Akiyama, if you guys don't know, he is Naomichi Marufuji Sr., and for lack of a better term, in our pro wrestling situation here in 2021, he's probably as close as we're going to get to any connection to the 4 pillars in All Japan 1990, because Toshiaki Kawada is not wrestling no more. Akira Taue, he was on commentary for the show, so he's not wrestling anymore. Of course, Misaharu Masawa, he's passed away, and we actually got Kenta Kobashi on commentary for the show. So as far as in ring wise, Jun Akiyama is the closest we're going to get to any connection to those 4 pillars of heaven from All Japan 1990. So that's always something to behold when we see him in the ring. So that's something always to appreciate right here.
Absolutely. And before we get to that, because you talked about Marufuji's entrance, imagine, I missed the streamers, man. Obviously COVID, but imagine streamers for the Marufuji entrance, how fucking special that would have been.
Oh my God, would have had that much more of a touch on here. So Inamura and Kiyomiya, they were fighting an uphill battle, but they weren't really necessarily helpless against their seniors, in my opinion. They had some clever spots in their own right. So we get Inamura pushing Marufuji into Kiyomiya, who did a suplex, and he almost got the pin right there. Kind of a nice little nifty spot right here. So we got the finish. We got Kaito Kiyomiya, with the Tiger suplex hold on Naomichi Marufuji with 18 minutes and 12 seconds. And I figured with him getting the victory, there was some kind of, trickle effect from him getting his victory right here. But immediately after, we have a face-off between Akiyama and Kiyomiya. So that will be an interesting singles match if that was to ever happen. Jun Akiyama versus Kaito Kiyomiya. If that was to ever take place, that would be mad interesting.
Yeah, that'd be fun as fuck. And Akiyama, like you said, just recently beat Tetsuya Endo to win the KOD Openweight Championship. Again, need to check that show out. Even if it's just that match. But yeah, it was just super fun, and it took the first few minutes. It was kind of just to appreciate the fact that we're seeing Akiyama and Marufuji teaming up in its own right. 'Cause, I remember watching the 2018 Champions Carnival and a Covenant review, and about how big of a deal that Marufuji and Jun Akiyama one-on-one matches at the Korakuen Hall was. How fucking big that was. And I remember Marufuji saying, next time we're going to be a team. And lo and behold, 3 years later-ish, give or take change, we're teaming up, which is just, great storytelling. Everything Marufuji and Kiyomiya did in there was just fucking gorgeous and spot on, and Kiyomiya with the Tiger suplex to get the win. This was very fun. I'll give it 3 stars. if you kind of don't, if you're watching this without knowing Marufuji and Akiyama, you're probably not going to enjoy it that much. But, you know, if you've watched them for years or know about them, then you really will appreciate this one a lot more.
100%, absolutely, man. Like, you just pretty much took the words out of my mouth right here. And I love that Kiyomiya, you know that after this match, he's going to do something. You're just not sure what. So I kind of like how it's pretty ambiguous after that. So yeah, he's on to do something. Okay, what is he going to do? Maybe we'll find out later in here in this show. But now we're on the penultimate match of the show. We have for the Ghc National Championship, which we're talking about belt designs. Absolutely love the design of this belt. I love how on the GHC logo part to actually have the Japanese flag in the back. I think that's a really, really nice touch on that belt. So we got Keno defending the belt against MMA legend, Pancrase legend, Katsu Kanaki. Man, I've seen many matches of this guy, former All Japan Triple Crown Heavyweight Champion as well. So this match was wrestled in my style of match. And what do I mean by that? It was wrestled, okay, more like an MMA style of match, man. We had a lot of grappling going on right here. We had a lot of kicks. We had a lot of strikes right here. So a lot of holds, a lot of chokes. Definitely a fan of that stuff, I am. So right here. So, and I also love, too, that like an MMA fight, this match actually, in my opinion, it ended with the right time limit. And it kind of, and maybe in some people's eyes, it ended abruptly. But if you kind of study this type of style match that it was, it really didn't. So this match ended a little over 10 minutes. We had Keno with a dragon suplex hold. Yeah, I really like this match. To this point, it's probably my favorite match on the show. Maybe it's because of the style of match that it was. I'm a fan of that, you know, kind of shoot, fight, wrestling style of pro wrestling. So, no, this was probably to this point my favorite match on the show. And maybe by the show's end, my favorite match on the show.
Damn, I gave it 3. I gave 3.25 to Harada and the junior heavyweight title defense. So I gave this 3. So it's my third favorite match of the night. I did enjoy it. It gave me the kind of old school UWF type feel, which I did enjoy. The slaps were absolutely ridiculous. Some good shoot stuff. But yeah, like I said, this one's all about kind of taste, as you touched upon. And that's the thing with Noah. This show gave you a bit for everyone. Sorry, you know, if you have the nostalgia feel of, you know, Keiji Muto and Marufuji Akiyama, and then also at the same point you got the kind of up and comers. You had the Dojo Boys as well as that junior heavyweight title banger, and he had like great stories like the main event. It just had something for everyone, and this was fun. But I'm very interested to see your opinion on this GHC heavyweight championship match, because people either loved this or people either hated it. Now, that's what I've seen online, and I'm very interested in your opinion. I think you're going to be surprised at mine.
Interesting. Before we get to that, though, Keno, he actually took the mic. He spoke on the microphone.
I can't hear you, dude. I can't hear you.
You know? Now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, so before we get to the main event, Keno actually spoke on the microphone, and he said being in the Budokan Hall was his dream right here, and here he was. We all know Keno. He's not ever one to mince words or temper his language right here. He thanked all the, quote, assholes for gathering here today and enabling him to win. Keno said he prayed for this moment, and he dreamed about it, and now that he had another goal or two, he wanted to come back to the Budokan for a second time, and then again and again. So I guess he actually found out he had another challenger hot on his tails. We have, but no one from M's Alliance. It was a Sugiura-gun army member. We have Kendo Kashin. It looks like it's going to be challenging him for the Ghc National Championship. So, yeah, that's who his next challenge is going to be. And we're off to the races with Kendo versus Kendo Kashin. And I'm not really a fan of Kendo Kashin, but hopefully Kendo can get a good match out of this guy.
Keno's going to get a good match out of it. I have faith in Keno.
Yeah, he's gonna get. I got my hopes on him. Shout out to Patrick, because I know that's Patrick's favorite wrestler. But yeah, hopefully he can get a good match out of him. But
and that's the thing I'll say before we get down to this. Every time I see Keno, I just think of Patrick, because I just picture Patrick's little Twitter profile picture of little Keno's face. It reminds me of old school vibes.
Those old feels, man. Speaking of old feels,
it's like, you know, when you go through like your school kind of like photo album, and you're like, oh, I remember these times. It kind of gave me that vibe. It's sad.
you get choked up a little bit. You like kind of like just.
I think I might ban Keno watching because it's too emotional. I think I may not be able to ever watch a Keno match ever again because I'm so biased. He gets given a star before the bell rings, for fuck's sake.
Right, dude, and I just realized he hadn't held the heavyweight belt in a pretty long time. So, yeah, it might be time for Noah to get on that, man. I don't know, man. But speaking of the GHC Heavyweight Championship, it's time. Okay, we got the main event time. So we got for the GHC Heavyweight Championship, we got Go Shiozaki attempting to defend his championship. He won that belt, I believe, late last year. Not late last year, 2020, late last year, 2019, I believe, or maybe early 2020. I forget the time frame when he won. He's had it for at least over 200 days. I know that's the time frame. He's at least had his belt over 200 days. So he knew that this was going to be the biggest stage he was wrestling on during his title run. So, yeah, man, we got Akira Taue, we got Noah's step-grandfather, Genichiro Tenryu looking on, you got Kenta Kobashi looking on in his title match, and he's wrestling one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time, Kaiji Muto, right here. So, yeah, and then we got per Budokan tradition, the main event fight usually is going to go up the ramp. Thought that ramp spot was pretty cool. Man, actually, what's crazy is I've seen a lot of negative stuff about this match, but I'm going to be real. I actually like this match. And maybe it's because I have recency bias because Kaiji Muto's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But fuck it, I don't care. I actually like this match a whole lot. And this match is a little under 30 minutes. We got Kaiji Muto. He won with the Frankenstein. And I actually like the way he won the match too, okay, because he won with the Frankenstein a little under 30 minutes. And it wasn't like he just thoroughly dominated Go Shiozaki. It was a back and forth match. And he literally caught Shiozaki off guard with this in one moment. He caught him off guard. And post match, you got Shiozaki's furious with himself, the ref, and Muto's just celebrating or whatever. So we'll talk about the potential challenger after that. But I like the fact that he didn't thoroughly put him away, because if I think people might have been more critical if he thoroughly puts him away. I think him maybe surprised, shocking him with a Frankenstein roll up is. Like, damn, he just caught him off guard in like that split second, and that's what happens. And anytime you take your eye off the ball, you lose.
Absolutely, and I loved the story going in. Muto winning this title will make him a triple crown, and Shiozaki wanting already a long title reign, wanting it to continue is just a recipe for greatness before the bell even fucking rings. Yep. And there was, like you said, the ramp spot with the DDT. The tease of the suplex off the ramp had me. I thought that was fucking magnificent. The chops from Go Shiozaki. Dude, I would rather have Big Show sit and fart on my face than take a Go Shiozaki chop. Generally. The fucking brainbuster.
Yeah.
Where he literally had him on. So Go's basically deadlifting him on top, and he kind of like slips off the ropes. And dude, he landed so fucking hard on his head. I literally shouted shit. Like, generally out loud, like, what am I? Shit! I was like, fuck. I was scared the shit out of me. And then this little spot, like, Muto's obviously retired the moonsault, but he went up to the top. And he's standing there, and you could see he's there, like, and he's like, fuck. And he's just like, fuck. You literally hear him go, fuck. And he gets down. He's scared. And by doing that, it told the story of he's scared at the top rope. So when Shiozaki hit that move, it meant that much more, which I thought was just really great. The near falls from Muto with the Shining Wizard had Budokan literally. There was a loud, naughty little Budokan gasp from the crowd. Which is very naughty. But Muto, like you said, got the win with the Hurricane Run. And I loved how in the Hurricane Run, instead of grabbing the legs, he kind of choked him to like pin him down, which I thought was really different. So then he went on and won the Triple Crown. I loved Suzuki, fucking hell, Shiozaki post-match when Muto goes to shake his hand and he slaps it because he's like, he's really pissed off at himself. He's like, fuck's sake. I was so close to beat. I had you. You caught me off guard. Like, you caught me. And it didn't come across as a disrespect heel. It came across as, I got fucked. Leave me alone. Oh, God, I can't believe I just got fucked over so bad. Blah, blah, blah. I thought it was magnificent. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. for 58 years old, going 29 minutes with some top rope bumps in there, bumps on the ramp. I gave this 4.5. Emotionally, I was up and down like Tower Bridge. I fucking loved it. What if you could use Uncle Davy Boy's rating system, if you will, what would you give this? I'm going 4.5. I will not have a bad thing to say about this match. I fucking loved it.
Not to sound like a broken record, 4.5 is good. I said earlier, the national championship match maybe been my favorite match to this point or over the total show. And I said we find out in the main event, and we found out. I enjoyed this main event immensely right here. Takashi Muto, not even just the match itself, but you just have the story here. The build up with the story of Takashi Muto getting into that illustrious company, that era of this pro wrestler, this room of guys who have held all three of these belts: the IWGP Heavyweight title, the All Japan Triple Crown Heavyweight title, and now the GHC Heavyweight Championship. Because we got guys like Kensei Sasake's done it, Yoshiaki Takayama. I probably butchered his first name, but Takayama, you know what fucking he did it. Fucking who else did it? I know somebody else did it too. And this is like somebody that you would even somebody else got all three. I can't even remember. It was him, but it was him. Those three guys, Muda, or those two guys, Muda. I think it's somebody else. It's escaping me right now. But in his own right, LK, Go Shiozaki, even though he probably won't capture this belt, if he captured the IWGP Heavyweight belt, he's right in that company. You got guys like Suzuki. He gets the IWGP Heavyweight belt, he's in that company. I'm trying to think of other people who's like maybe like Yuji Nagata. If he wins this belt we're talking about now, the GHC Heavyweight title, he's in that company because my bad. I take that belt. I take that back. He's got to win the Triple Crown because he's won the GHC. He's won the IWGP, so he needs to win a Triple Crown. So
Kojima needs to win the GHC, doesn't he?
Kojima needs to win the GHC Heavyweight belt to get in that group. I think Tenzan, he hasn't won. He just won the IWGP, so he's not there. I'm trying to think of some other guys who are like right on the doorstep, or like right there, that are still like active, that could do it. Shit, man, it's just pretty much what we're saying. That is an illustrious group to be in. That's not something that a lot of people get to do in their heyday. That's like probably being the well, of course, after they bought them, it doesn't mean as much, but that's like if it's like 1991, well, they weren't anything in 91. Let's say 96. It's like in 1997 if you had been the WWF champion, the WCW champion, and the ECW champion. That's pretty much the same thing, because those were the three big companies over here in North America, and it's essentially the same, if not bigger, because those belts, in my opinion, mean more over there in Japan. But that's just me.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great match, and the magnitude of what it means is really, really a lot. And even if you've not watched lots of great Muto, Kagimoto, you can still appreciate the story they told. So this is one that I highly recommend people to watch, and I recommend people to check out this show. Everything after intermission was good to great.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. All the title matches were pretty much solid, if not bangers, to be 100% honest. And after the match, we actually get the young Kaito Kiyomiya. He comes out and he jumps into the ring, and he appears to challenge for the GHC Heavyweight Championship right here. Muto, in his zone, right, he made no comment. He just pretty much left the ring, leaving Kiyomiya to stare at him as pyrotechnics blew to green smoke. Backstage, Kiyomiya said he was challenging Muto for the belt, and that he is the only person that can take the belt away from him. So,
yeah, it sets up the nice feud nicely. And it's a feud that people can sink their teeth into if they're new to know it, because they've just seen Kiyomiya win over Marufuji Nakayama, so it kind of makes sense. I thought it was great. I think overall the direction the company's heading in is all but positive, and like we said a few times on this show, I'm looking forward to covering these Noah big shows.
Absolutely. This show was really good to cover. It's really good to watch too. Not only is people who cover pro wrestling here, but this is a fan. This is a really good show to watch from top to bottom. Not saying if you have to skip the undercard stuff. I actually enjoyed a lot of the undercard stuff, but the title matches right here, in my opinion, are must see. You got to see these title matches from both the junior heavyweight and the junior heavyweight tag team national title match. Hell, even that the
I agree. I absolutely 100% agree, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing next. But fucking hell, we've been 50 minutes. Anything else before we wrap this bad boy up?
Man, they already know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. SOS Wrestling Network, the premier choice on YouTube to follow any pro wrestling coverage or pro wrestling coverage for that matter. So tell a friend to tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. The price of subscription, my friends, is $3.99. It don't cost you a damn thing. So.
Absolutely. And coming up this weekend, I'm going to be doing the In Your House 6 review with Brad as part of the 25 Years Ago series. That'll be episode 13, which will be going on Friday.
Which one is that? Okay.
In Your House 6, Beware of the Dog or some fucking show.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
Dude,
okay, I'm familiar with that one.
You can join that. You can join tomorrow if you fancy doing a bit of coverage on that one.
Just message me and let me know what time y'all doing it, and shit, if I'm free, I'll hop in.
Beautiful stuff. And then we're doing Raw and Nitro from February the 19th, 1996 on Saturday. Elimination Chamber preview on Saturday, and then Elimination Chamber review on Sunday. And then also potentially some All Japan coverage. There's no New Japan show till Monday, is there, if I'm right?
Nah, they're done till Monday. Like I said, we on the channel we got that Tetsuya Naito injury video. He's probably going to wrestle the 28th, but we probably won't see him until the 28th. That's just my speculation.
Yep, and I completely agree with that. Also, go back and check out all nights 1 to night 4 reviews of the New Japan Castle Attack. We'll be reviewing every Road 2 show heading in to the big Osaka Hall shows, as well as All Japan and Noah coverage.
I'm about to say, LK, real quick, we talked about ECW on this show. Go check out LK's ECW CyberSlam 1996 coverage. Go check that shit out.
Absolutely. Check everything out. Hit the notification button as well, so then you get because we're going to be smashing videos left, right, and center. So keep fucking hitting the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, tell a friend, as you say, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. So thanks for watching.